published in 1908. It tells the story of Anne Shirley, a red-haired orphan girl sent by mistake to spinster Marilla Cuthbert and her bachelor brother Matthew when they tried to adopt a boy to help them on their island farm. Anne's love of excruciatingly big words, her imagination, and her independent spirit soon endeared her to everyone. She becomes as much a part of the island as its red earth and sea air. Although just a creation of her imagination, Anne seems so real that even her creator hesitated to say she was only imaginary.
When I'm asked if Anne herself is a real person, I always answer no with an odd reluctance and an uncomfortable feeling of not telling the truth. For she is, and always has been, from the moment I first thought of her, so real to me that I feel I'm doing violence to something when I deny her an existence anywhere save in dreamland.
Even though Anne Shirley and most other characters and events in the book are fruits of Montgomery's vivid imagination, some of the places described in the novel really exist, including the Haunted Wood and Lover's Lane, and of course, the house that inspired Green Gables. This is the original house, built here in the mid-1800s. While Montgomery never lived in the home, this old farm site inspired the descriptions of Green Gables in the novel. It was originally the home of David and Margaret McNeil, cousins of her grandfather. She spent a lot of time walking through the woodlands on their farm, drawn by her spiritual connection to its natural beauty, especially Lover's Lane.
Were it not for those Cavendish years, I do not think Anne of Green Gables would ever have been written.
Lucy Maud Montgomery was born on November 30th, 1874 in New London, PEI, but was brought to Cavendish as an infant when her mother became ill. After her mother's death, the 21-month-old child was left in the care of her maternal grandparents, Alexander and Lucy McNeil, who lived very close to Green Gables. The cultural life of late 19th century Cavendish inspired the creation of Avonlea in the novel, and provided Montgomery with much scope for imagination in her writing.
I cannot remember the time when I was not writing, or when I did not mean to be an author. To write has always been my central purpose, around which every effort and hope and ambition of my life has grouped itself.
Ellen Montgomery started writing poems and stories at an early age, and had her first poem published by the time she was 15. She always dreamed of writing a book, and her lifelong ambition came true in 1908 with the publication of Anne of Green Gables. The book was an instant success, a hit with readers of all ages. It has since been published in more than 30 countries and translated into at least 17 languages. In 1911, Montgomery married the Reverend Ewan MacDonald and moved to Ontario, but Prince Edward Island remained her spiritual home, and she returned often to replenish her soul with the island's glorious natural beauty.
Oh, my island is matchless, matchless. I feel that I did some violence to my spirit in leaving it. I belong here. It is mine. I am its own. It is in my blood. There's a part of me that lives only here, this colorful little land of ruby and emerald and sapphire.
Montgomery's love of the island shines through in her writing. All but one of the 23 books published in her lifetime have Prince Edward Island as the main setting. After her death in Toronto in 1942, Ellen Montgomery was buried in the Cavendish Cemetery. Soon after the publication of Anne of Green Gables, people began flocking to Cavendish in search of the idyllic setting described in the novel. In 1937, many of the places she wrote about were preserved for future generations to enjoy when Prince Edward Island National Park was created. The house and grounds are based on the description in the novel, as well as knowledge about the actual farm site and other farms Montgomery would have known. The house is lovingly furnished, much as her book describes, with pieces original to the late 1800s. Ellen Montgomery received many awards for her writing. In 1943, she was declared to be a person of national historic significance, and a few years later, a monument was erected in her honor at Green Gables. While you're in Prince Edward Island National Park, you too can savor the natural beauty which inspired Ellen Montgomery. There are many things to see and do at Green Gables and in the rest of the park. The staff will be glad to help you.
It has always seemed to me, ever since early childhood, that amid all the commonplaces of life, I was very near to a kingdom of ideal beauty. Between it and me hung only a thin veil. I could never draw it quite aside, but sometimes a wind fluttered it and I caught a glimpse of the enchanting realm beyond. Only a glimpse, but those glimpses have always made life worthwhile.
During your visit to Green Gables, use your imagination, and perhaps you too can lift the veil as Montgomery has done and catch a glimpse of Anne's spirit.